Hello, everybody. My name is Oliver Young. And for my science experiment, I did a test on short term memory. I forget now, though. Do you ever think about how your brain remembers stuff in the short term? Well, so do I. For example, you may ask why you walk into a room and forget why you're there. What makes your brain function better? How we can help our brains improve? All questions I'm curious about. In my experiment, I'm interested in the science around sleep and short term memory. I wondered if the amount of sleep impacted how I remember things, especially in the morning. I think that if people get less sleep, then it will affect their ability to use their short term memory, and therefore their performance on a short term memory game. I also think that each person will do better on their test when they get more sleep. Their scores will go up according to increased sleep and down with decreased sleep. I know that when I lack sleep or see someone without very much sleep, we seem to lack our ability to do things, use our memory, and that is why I think this will happen. For my experiment, I asked people to record how much sleep they got each night. I also asked them to play this game in the first half an hour of waking up 2 times and record their score. In this video, you will watch the balls moving around, moving more each time you pass a level. You pass a level when you get all 3 balls into the same box, into the right box. I hope that if people get less sleep, then it will affect their ability to play this game, lowering their score. I found that participant 8 had to be excluded because she found a strategy so that she did not have to use memory. Now that's out of the way, I also found that 10 out of 16 participants had their highest score with the most amount of sleep. This is 62%. Of the remaining 6 participants, they all had their highest score within 1.5 hours of their longest sleep. 8 out of the 16 participants had their lowest score with the least amount of sleep. This is 50%. 4 of the remaining 16 had their lowest with just 30 minutes more sleep. If you add these together, 75% had their lowest score within 2 of their lowest sleep markers. Participant number 16 clearly proves my hypothesis. Of the most amount of sleep gave him the highest score, and the least amount of sleep gave him the lowest score. However, with all the participants' data analyzed, my hypothesis was neither valid nor invalid. Professor of psychiatry at Harvard Medical School, Robert Stickold, found that in both animal and human studies, quality and quantity of sleep have a big impact on sleep and memory. He also noted that other studies show that sleep helps learning and memory in 2 distinct ways. First, a sleep deprived person cannot focus attention optimally and therefore cannot learn efficiently. Second, sleep itself has a role in the consolidation of memory, which is essential for learning new information. In my experiment, the results showed that 62% of people will get a higher score with more sleep. In the real world, my science fair helps support the theory that sleep is important to daily living. Maybe if I slept better, I would not forget to open the door in the morning before trying to walk through it. Although my study can't fully prove that getting too little or too much sleep causes memory and thinking problems, is in line with the work showing the potentially harmful effects of poor sleep. I would improve on this experiment by using a different game. I feel that the game I picked did not necessarily relate to memory as much as I hoped it would. It seemed more about concentration and perhaps technique. Another improvement would be to have better instructions in my initial email. I did not include that they could not practice the memory game, share tips, etc., etc. People were doing these things, allowing them to become better and not having to rely on the amount of sleep they got. I also discovered that there were a lot of variables I was unable to control. For example, health, attitude, stress, just to name a few. A control group would allow me to understand what a normal score would be for a 6-hour sleep, an 8-hour sleep, a 2-hour sleep, making it easier to understand how different sleeps affect memory. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful evening.